Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. This video I'm doing is about 1070 Amp Edition and the Extreme Edition from Zotac. This video should serve as a review for both of these cards as well as a comparison video. After this video you guys will have more or less idea what these two cards are capable of and what are the differences. I already have another video which shows the physical differences between these two cards, so if you guys want to see, do check it out, the other video also. So let's just start. Let's start with the basic thing, the clock speeds. The clock speeds for the Amp Edition are the base clocks are set to 1607 and the boost clocks are 1797. As well as for the Extreme Edition, they are quite similar, 1632 and 1835 respectively, so there's not that huge difference. While playing the games, I actually noticed that the cards right out of the box, they just started performing at the higher clock speeds. The Amp Edition, as you can see over here, it was performing almost all of the time at 1949. It did not fall down. Sometimes it was 1927, but not below that number. It stayed over there and it performed really well. And the Extreme Edition, it was not that high or something, I would say, but still there was a bit difference. That was 1987, and I also found out that the highest clock speed that my card was performing was at 2000 for the Amp Edition, and for the Extreme Edition it was 2050. So both numbers are actually quite good. So let's go to the noise level. I actually use an app, not some really electronic or something, so I just use a normal app. So it can be that the results are not 100% accurate, but this is just to give you guys an idea what kind of noise these cards produced. So for my system, I just put the mobile and the app and just to see how it will how much noise it produces. So it was around 58 decibel for the both cards once the fans were off, and and the fans did not turn on. And then I just manually made the fans to 50%. I took them up to 50%, and then you can see here a spike, and then it went to 60 decibels. Both they were more or less the same. And after this, as you can see here, for the 70%, it went to 1 decibel more, 61, but the Extreme version, it went higher, it went to 63 decibels. And at the 70%, I could barely hear the Amp Edition, but the Extreme Edition was a bit loud. I could definitely hear it. And at the 80 and 90, Amp Edition was still a bit quieter, as you can see, 62 and 63 and 64 and 65. But still, I would say that the Extreme Edition was a bit louder. I could hear it. And at 100%, both cars were audible. You can hear them, but Extreme Edition is really loud in my opinion. But luckily in the Extreme Edition you do not need 100% fan speed. It just stays at the lower speed, so you don't have to worry about it. It does not make that loud noises. And the fan speeds and you can see here why, because the Extreme Edition goes all the way up to 3225 RPM, and the Amp Edition only goes 2282. So that's why it also produces less noise. Now let's move on to temperatures. As we can see here, at the idle, the Amp Edition performs at a lower temperature, which is actually really nice. It was once it was idle, it stayed at 33, 34. It did not go above this number. But the Extreme Edition, it was 37, 38, but then it came to 37, so it stayed. It was a bit higher, but not that much. But once I started working on it, watching some videos, listening to music, creating something, writing something, the Amp Edition performed around 41 degrees was the temperature at that time. But the Extreme Edition was a bit higher. It performs, once it's performing some task, it is actually it gets a bit hotter, so 44 as you can see. And then I just try to push both of the cards to their limit. I just said, okay, fine, let's just do it. And I just ran some stress tests and other things, and then I found out that the Amp Edition gets hotter than the Extreme Edition, which is amp gets at 79 degrees, which is actually quite hot, and the Extreme Edition only went up to 69. So this is actually the Extreme Edition is certainly cooler. I actually also asked Zotac that what are the maximum temperatures that these cards can perform at, and they told me that the maximum temperature is 94 to 97 degrees, and for a card to perform optimal, it should be 20 to 22 degrees cooler than this temperature. And then there's nothing wrong with the card, everything works good. So these temperatures are, just keep that in mind, these are the maximum temperatures what I got from it. It is not that these are their temperatures and they're working always at that. So now let's move on to gaming temperatures. As you can see here, let's just start with the Doom. With the Doom, once I was playing on the Amp Edition, it went really fast, really quickly to 76 degrees. It just jumped, it just went to 76 degrees. Once I was playing on the Extreme Edition, it took it a while before it went up. So it was not more than 69 degrees. It just stayed over there. It did not go above this number. And with the, and as you can see here with the 76%, once the 76 degrees, once this was the temperature, the Amp Edition fans, they were all the way up to 82%. They were really, they were a bit loud, and then I can just hear them. Whereas the Extreme Edition, it was 69, but the fan still stayed maximum. It just went at 41%. They just used 41% of the fans. So it was really like quiet. I could not hear anything at all. So moving on to Witcher 3, you can see Witcher 3 also got like 73 degrees. The bottom line is I was not able to get lower than 70 degrees on the Amp Edition. The Extreme Edition, with the Extreme Edition, I was not able to go above 70. So that's actually the difference, as you can see. And here the Extreme version again went only up to 67% with only a 45% auto fan speed, and whereas for the Amp Edition, 73 and 75% fans. So it gets hotter. It's not bad in any ways, but it just is a bit hot. So with the Crisis is the same thing again. 73 I went with the highest, and 67% the fan speed, whereas with the Crisis, with the 73 and 75, and again with the Extreme Edition 65 and only 45% the fan profile. It was really quiet. I'm really happy about that. And moving on to Rise of the Tomb Raider, this game is also pushes the hardware to the limits. So easily the Amp Edition went to 70 degrees, and the fan went all the way up to 80%. So it was again loud, but the Extreme Edition, it went only to 68 degrees with a 42% of fan profile, which was extremely nice. Arkham Knight, again, we can see that the Amp Edition is performing at a higher temperature than the Extreme version. So there's a 5 degrees difference. Again, the fans are much higher speed, and here there's only 32% for the 65 degrees for Extreme Edition. So moving for the last thing, Metro Redux. This game actually pushes really hardware to the limit. The GPU gets really hot. So here the Amp Edition, it just went all the way up to 75 and very quickly at 85% fan profile. Whereas again, Extreme is performing at a lower temperature, 69. This is the maximum what I got from this and from Doom, 69 but here it was performing at 47% fan, but it stayed over the 69. It did not go above this number. Also, these, after playing the game, once you turn off the game, the card cools down really quickly. They just go down so fast that it's amazing. They just drop the temperature really fast. I also connected a test, and I just saw, okay, after playing a game, how long does it take for the Amp Edition and the Extreme Edition to go from a certain temperature after playing game to a lower temperature. The temperature for the GPU was 48 degrees, and I thought, okay, let's see how long it will take for it to go down all the way to 40. Then I just waited and I clocked the time, and it took 30 minutes for the Extreme Edition to cool down to 40 degrees. Whereas the Amp Edition, it went really fast down. It was really amazing to watch. it went from 48 to 40 degrees just within 15 minutes, and at the 30 minutes it went down to 37 degrees. So that's actually worth mentioning. It is really nice to see that these cards just cool down so fast. So the power consumption, I did not conducted any test about the power consumption. I just took it from the manufacturer's website. So as you can see, the Amp edition only takes 220 watts, whereas the Extreme edition takes 250 watts. It's not that huge. It will not set you back some dollars or euros or whatever, so you don't have to worry about that much. So I also performed the 3D Mark tests on it, and I just ran this is the 5-Strike Ultra and the Time Spy. With the Amp edition, I was able to get like 4,173, and with Extreme a bit higher number, so the total difference was about 108. And with the Time Spy demo, I got 5,712 and 5,824, again a bit higher for the Extreme edition, which is like 112 difference. So this is also something, but not really substantial. Moving on to the widget 3, the frame rates. Now let's look at the performance with the widget 3. Both of the versions, they really perform well. The base clocks and boost clocks, they're so good that and they're also so close that you will not get more than 2 to 4 frames per second. At 1080p, if you're gaming, it will not be more than this difference. It will stay at this 2 to 4 or even less sometimes. You will not see the difference. So the Amp edition, it was performing at average 82 frames per second. Unfortunately, I did not take the minimum and maximum over there, so they're not present over here. But for the Extreme edition, the lowest frame rate that I got was 59, the highest was 106, but the average was 84. This is and keep that in mind that every ridiculous setting was on, high, ultra, whatever, it was there. So every ridiculous setting was on. You have to keep that in mind. So it's a really good number. Moving on to the Rise of the Tomb Raider, we can also see here that it's not a huge difference, because with the Amp edition I got 105 average, of course, and with Extreme edition I got 107, which is again 2 frames per second. And I just ran this test couple of times, and then I again I came at a number which was either 2 or 3. I did not get more than this difference, so it will not perform better. One is not performing better than the other one. So in the Arkham Knight, this is not really this is a bad port, but still this game performs really well with these cards. As you can see, the Amp edition, the lowest that I got was 48, and with Extreme it was 54, and the highest that I got was, both were the same, 128, but the average was, again, for some reason it just came again on the 2 frames per second difference, so 89 and 91, which is actually, and again, everything was on NVIDIA Works, special effects, whatever, everything was on, and everything was to ultra, and everything was at 1080p, of course. So these are really good numbers. And the Metro Redux, this is also, this game like made my CPU like really hot, but luckily it still performed really well, the boost clocks I meant. So the lowest that I got with the Amp was a bit higher actually, after running it multiple times, the benchmarks, I ran it multiple times. So I got from the Amp edition 21 and from Extreme 20. And of course the highest maximum frame that I got from Amp edition were for some reason more actually, for 222, and from Extreme edition only 205. But then again, it was that magic number, I don't know why, but it was still coming at 2, and it was 74 and 72. So it is like, performance wise, these cards are the same, they are not that different. So last, there is Doom. I ran it on the OpenGL 4.5 because I could not do it on the Falcon, otherwise I was not able to get the benchmarks. So that's why I ran on it. And unfortunately, the Amp edition, I didn't remember to do it, so I cannot provide you data for that. Sorry about that. But still, for the Extreme edition, I was able to easily get 135 plus. So what I got was like, I just ran it again and again, and different kinds of different places with everything is set to ultra, everything is really high, and I still got 135. And the maximum what I got was 200 frames per second from this on the Falcon. I meant. It's like it's huge. It's really good. The performance wise, both of these cards are actually really good. So now, what do I think about this card? Both of these cards are actually high-end cards. So whichever you will buy, it will not go wrong. You just need to know that they're not that different. They are more or less the same. The only difference what you get from these cards is actually the temperatures. The temperature for the Extreme Edition are much lower than the Amp Edition, but then again the maximum temperature while gaming for the Amp I got 73, and for the Extreme Edition I got 69. So you can just see that the difference for the high-end gaming, it's not that much. So I've read reviews on the Newegg and other websites. Some people claiming that they did not go over 65 or even 60. Some people are saying, believe me, you will go higher than this number. You will go 65, you'll go 69, maybe you will also go 60, 70 or 71 or something on the Extreme Edition. But this will happen only if it's particularly really hot that day. And once I was running these benchmarks, it was really hot. It was like around 27 degrees inside the room, and outside was 30, 33, 34 degrees. So it was a quite hot day. So that's why. But in the end, these two cards are really good. Both of them have 5 years of warranty, which is extremely cool. And other than that, both of them perform really well. There are other cards out there. If you're for some reason will not be satisfied with this card, then just look at the other one. For example, Strix from and they're also that card goes maximum to 62, 63. I've heard also. I didn't have the time to check it, but still it is really good card, also the Strix. But these versions are also one of the best 1070s that you can get. So thank you very much. I hope you liked this video and found this information useful. A lot of work has gone into this video, so if you guys like it and find it useful, please do like this video. Once again, thank you very much. Bye.